I want you to remember that God is always there, bro. God is always there. Our connection to God never changes. I want to remind you that God is always speaking to you. Sometimes we don't hear him, but he is always speaking to you. The reason I say this is because I don't know where you're at right now, all right? Maybe you're in a really good headspace right now. So you could feel God speaking to you. You feel your connection to the universe, your connection to source. I use these terms interchangeably because I think the essence of God, the divine, is really the same, just different terminology. But if you've been busy, you've been grinding it out, there's so much going on. It's the start of the new year, so a lot of the times we're trying to reset ourselves and set our lives on the right path, the right track. And even I've caught myself being like, okay, I gotta do this, this, and this. Especially as a masculine, we're very orderly. We like our lists, we like our calendars, we like everything in a structured manner, right? Because a masculine is structure, it's order. So it's extremely easy to get caught up on that. And for me, for example, I'm like, all right, I gotta film this day, I gotta edit my videos this day, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. And then sometimes I'm like, fuck, what do I even talk about? I don't feel connected right now. I feel like I'm stuck in this mental loop, into this mental maze. And the anchor point for me, the thing that I remember is like, all right, what is my center? Where is my center? And it's like, I remember, God is always there, man. You don't need to always be like the highest vibration frequency at all times and all these weird expectations that we might have of ourselves. Because truly, it does not matter where you are. You could be at the bottom of the bottom in shame, guilt, anger. But when we remember, when we feel, wait, God is always there. Literally. And the thing is, sometimes he speaks through people. Like the other day, on Christmas Eve, actually, my uncle, we were around the bonfire and he was speaking. My uncle loves to speak, all right? That's definitely his state of flow. And he's a very wise, older masculine. He's like a second father figure for me. He was speaking in a way that I could feel like God was speaking through him to me, to us. And the thing is, not everyone got the message. I had a cousin or two like on their phones and maybe listening here and there, but they weren't totally in presence with him. But because I was immersed in his words and the message he was trying to give me, the wisdom he was trying to give me, the sage-like advice, I felt so connected. I was like, literally this, I'm not saying he's God, but rather God, I could feel his message. God is speaking through him. And it really reminded me that God is always there. Imagine me, like, if I was on my phone scrolling through Instagram, through TikTok, or whatever it is, I wouldn't have received that from him. I would have been blind to it. I would have been looking elsewhere. I would have been looking for fulfillment and God and purpose in something else that is not real. So that's why I say this, because God, it really is always there. It could be in a picture, in a person, something you're listening to, in a song. It's within you, it's everywhere. And sometimes you just feel those zaps of inspiration, those zaps of connection to the divine. And really, if we think about it, we can always tap in. Like right now, I came here to this conservation park because I like to film here. This is a place that I feel very nice and free. I have a lot of connection to this place. It helps me connect back to something higher than me. I feel the most free here, the most expansive. Like most of us, we have a lot on our plates. So my mind is going, okay, I could talk about this, I could talk about that, I could talk about this. But I just kept going and going. I was getting frustrated with myself because I had so many ideas, so many thoughts, and none of them felt right. So I decided to just stop, to center myself and be like, what is really the core? What is the core of what I want to express right now? What is it really? And I was almost disappointed in myself because I was just like trying to dig in, trying to force something. And it just dawned on me out of nowhere, like, dude, God is always there. The universe is always there. You are a part of that. You are always connected. If you're feeling like this, myself, if I'm feeling like this, I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling like this too. With our busy, bustling lives, it's easy to do. It's easy to forget. It's easy to get lost. And right now, when I started feeling calmer and calmer and my thoughts started slowing down, I started seeing clearer. The fog was starting to dissipate. I started to feel at home. I started to feel calmer. And the message that I wanted to express became much clearer. And that's why I filmed this video. I filmed this topic because that really is the core of it. At all times, God is always there. The presence of the divine is always there. We have the divine within us. This is not something that I'm making up. This is not something that I'm just saying. It's something that I'm learning right now. So that's where I was able to draw the inspiration for this kind of video. Sometimes we feel lost. Sometimes we're stuck in the rat race. Sometimes it's just so much going on, man. And that's one really good anchor point for myself, when I start thinking about what my center is, when I start thinking about what God would want, when I start thinking about like, wait, it's all within me already. Everything is an illusion, ironically. While I do like the material world, I like this world. I like learning, I like competing, I like the challenge. Even when it's really painful, there's something just so beautiful about being alive, about having that drive, that fire within. It's easy for me and it's easy for a lot of the masculine to get lost, to get so involved in these material things and in this world that we lose connection to what actually matters. You know, yesterday I was talking with some friends and they're fucking amazing. They're brothers, literally brothers to me. People that I can actually relate to, talk to, and that's so rare in this world where I feel comfortable. People that I can actually relate to. Like a lot of the time, our self-improvement, self-development, our spiritual journey is triggered by a really negative event. This is very common, right? Sometimes it's a terrible breakup, the death of a loved one. It's something tragic. We fall to the lowest of the low, and there comes a point where we can no longer take that life. There comes a point where something has to change, and that is fueled by a rage, by an anger, by pain, by suffering. That is like jet fuel for the masculine too. Something has to change. We have to take action. So we're talking about this, right? Like, hey, so being driven by pain and suffering is great. It's great motivation. It's great fuel, but it's short-lived. And I don't think it's ideal for it to be fueling us the entire time, to take our suffering and yes, transmute it, take our suffering and propel us into the next stage of our life. But is that actually sustainable? Shouldn't we have something higher? Shouldn't we have something better long term? And I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. It's something I've been thinking about a lot. Like, me starting this journey came from a place of pain, and I've honored that pain. I've honored that bitter medicine. But I've realized over time, over the years, that it's not sustainable. It's not even healthy, because it is still a lower level frequency, a lower level emotion, a lower level vibration. So I answered this very simply and I said, so you asked, what is it? What could fuel us in the long term? And my answer simply was God, universe, creator, the divine. That fuels me. That's my long-term fuel. That is my anchor. That is something that I cannot run out of. That is something way bigger than me, way higher than me. And the thing is, the masculine is connection between the divine and earth, the material. The masculine, at least in the king energy. What is the king really? The king is a connection between God and the kingdom, the divine and the material. So that's where I draw my inspiration from. That's where I draw my energy from. That's where I'm able to regenerate, because I am just human. My emotions come and go. My motivation comes and goes. My discipline comes and goes. But the one thing that transcends all of that is the divine power. It's something that is always there, even when it doesn't feel like it. So this little shift, this mindset, this connection has really changed my life, because even when I'm low and I accept that low, I know my connection to the universe, to the divine, is always there. So I wanted to remind you of that, bro. I hope you found this helpful. I hope this is a message that helps you on your journey and that is able to help you connect to that divine. If you're new to this channel, my name is Nathan. I go by Nate Rocks here on YouTube. This is a space for the masculine collective. My goal is to help men evolve, is to help men reach the highest level of their own masculinity, is to help elevate the masculine consciousness. If you resonate with this message, if you want to follow, if you want to be a part of this mission, please like and subscribe. It really helps get this message out. I appreciate you watching this whole video. I really, really do. And I hope to see you in the next video, bro.